Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting race in our continuing coverage of our Crossworld Keysanity tournament. Today we have game 2 of Andy versus VioletPumpkin. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful commentator, CyberChow and Dace Cloud, as I get our runners started.
Hello everyone, I'm CyberChow X.
Oh, I guess that makes me Dazed Cloud then. So good to see you guys, everybody back here for this. Basically, call this the winners' final. Can we call it that?
I think we can call it that.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna call this the winners' final here between Andy and VioletPumpkin here. Two of the top runners to make it this far. You might look up at the top of the screen there and kind of see that both of these guys, they've got a kind of a higher number next to their name there. But, yeah, don't let that fool you. These guys are real good. All right, we're just gonna be waiting for a couple minutes here to get this thing going here. And as soon as we can, we should be able to kind of get things started. I guess we'll go through a little bit of history here for this. VioletPumpkin was ranked 49th here. She came through and basically has, in the entire tournament so far, up until this race here, she dropped 2 games here. She dropped 1 game to Schulzer there and 1 game to T-Stu14. T-Stu being still alive in the losers bracket here, so there's a chance that those two could still meet depending on what happens today with everything. Also, there we've got Andy on the other side. He came in ranked surprisingly low, I guess, in a way. He came in ranked number 55 out of the qualifying rounds. But in that time there, he has dropped a single match in this tournament in the last round there to Lin, who's also still alive in the losers bracket right now. Basically, the way that this works here, Andy has a 1-0 lead, so no, Andy doesn't quite have a yellow card quite yet. That's just his 1-0 lead there. The winner of this match is going to go on to our grand finals there. They're going to start off with a 1-0 lead over whoever gets out of the losers bracket right now. And at the moment, there are 6 racers remaining here, and the losers bracket, we've got T-Stu and Zelda Dasan there, tied up at a 1-1, I believe, and we've got Lin, who has taken actually took a 2-0 win yesterday over P-Train, and is now waiting for this. The loser of this round here between VioletPumpkin and Andy is going to get moved down to basically the losers final, and winner of that will go on to meet, well, the winner of this match.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, looks like we are about to go here. So, seeing the countdown in the room, and it looks like we should be seeing them off in just a second there. All right, And we're off on both sides there. Andy's going to start over at Link's house there as VioletPumpkin starts in the Sanctuary there, picks up a bow to start off the match there. That's a great little early find.
Yep, and we see that Sanctuary is in the Lost Woods. Well, Andy's going to check what's at the Uncle drop down. No, actually he's going to dive straight into Hyrule Castle, find Spiral Cave, which is a one-way connector, so you never really want to dive into it when you've got other entrances nearby. We find Hype Cave with our first bottle, but without any bombs, can't get in for the other 4 items just yet.
Yeah, that kind of unfortunate early Spiral Cave there for Andy. He's going to try to farm himself a bomb or some sort of weapon there, because trying to get through Spiral Cave on 3 hearts is not likely to work, but he's going to give it a shot, it looks like.
Speaking of bombs, Violet has found the restock hut.
I mean, Chicken Hut's great to find. That's going to be a great thing, having Hype Cave really right next door to him too, because wow, that was that's very convenient there. Assuming she's going right back there, and yep, there she goes. All right, this is some great dodging by Andy here, trying to get this mini Moldorm to behave, and wow, there it goes.
Yeah, nicely done. And paid off with a lamp.
That was really impressive there. Get a castle tower key out of Hype Cave, and I think that was pretty much the only thing of interest.
Yep. And it turns out the other side of Spiral Cave isn't much use to us now. Will be worth a little bit more once we have the mirror, because that's that Turtle Rock ledge, so only access to the Mimic Cave ledge.
It turns out the back of Escape doesn't have anything interesting, but what I did kind of see there was those the rats in the escape sequence there were spitting out a just the greatest prize drop that you can get there. So that was Violet was able to pick up a red rupee and a full bar of magic without even doing anything. That's kind of a nice early find. A little bit risky of a play there by Violet here, dropping directly into the Uncle drop without actually checking the front side of it first. There finds a map, gonna pick that up, and we've got Ganon today, unfortunately behind the lumberjack tree, so we're gonna have to be killing Aga 1.
That explains why she jumped straight into the thing. She's already seen that, so she knows it's not going to be Ganon.
Yeah, I think we were too busy watching the ridiculous jukes there that Andy was putting on these mini Moldorms.
Yeah. Violet, of course, is handling it much simpler way, just firing arrows at him.
I mean, getting an 8 bomb drop here, so far we've seen 2 enemies today already with like the best prize packs that you can get there for an early game. Okay, now the question is, where do you go from here? I imagine both runners are going to be making their way into Kakariko to go ahead and get through the bonanza of doors in there.
Yeah, seems like a fairly strong play. Does have another drop down that with Ganon already found. That means it'll probably be something good. We've got a Turtle Rock entrance.
It's a nice laser eye entrance there for Turtle Rock, and Violet is gonna. She's kind of curious. What is she gonna go kill the Pokey? She's gonna go kill the Pokey with both. Like this can be done. It's not easy. So the moment that you hit the Pokey, you've got to actually watch out pretty carefully for basically the snapback there, where the Pokey's puff comes flying off, because that Pokey's puff is going to do exactly the same amount of damage as the Pokey does itself here,
and takes the laser.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble there to have done that, I'd say.
Yeah, and you saw Andy saw the entrance and immediately left. And we find Misery Mire and Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, the Mini Moldorm Cave is going to be a nice one here. I guess, yeah, Violet's going to have to opt for bomb strats on these Mini Moldorms because she unfortunately used most of her arrows there already. Moon Pearl. All right. So that's 2 of the big 5 locations found already, and right next door you got Paradox Cave. Wow, so our runners are going to be slammed with items here early. This is starting off pretty nice for them. I don't think either of them are going to complain, as Violet just makes it down that ladder. Oh, small key to Thieves Town. That's always kind of nice to see on early there, because that's one less thing you have to worry about orphaning at some point, assuming you have the hammer. Key to Pod, and just some 20 rupees. So not item dense, but it's gonna knock off 7 items off of the list of 216 locations that you're going for here. So you're not gonna complain too much.
And leaving out separate exits, Andy's takes him down to race game. Violet's takes her over to the I believe that was the bumper cave ledge.
Right, yeah, that was the bumper ledge there. I think of those 2 exits, I'd rather have Violet's knowledge there more than Andy's knowledge, but hopefully he'll get the same thing there, same knowledge level here pretty soon. And oh my god, there's Blindside as well. This is a stacked Kakariko. This is crazy.
And Magic Bat at its vanilla location. Over in Blindside, we get another pod key. And a couple of maps. We also saw our first Hyrule Castle entrance over on Andy's side at the Smith's house.
And found ourselves Checkerboard Cave over here with a big key to Eastern Palace. So bow plus lamp plus Eastern Palace big key. So, well, we're all set to go on these guys. Just got to find it. Now this is the time where you got to start playing the game here. You've got everything you need to clear the dungeon, and if you find it early, what do you think? Is it going to be a pendant, or is that going to be a crystal?
I think we've also found the map for it, so they could find out if they wanted to.
Oh, well, I hope they don't do that. I want to guess.
And we find our other dungeon that requires a bow, the Palace of Darkness. With 2 keys, can get a little further in. No hammer means that you wouldn't be able to save a key by going to the bow-locked side.
Well, I mean, actually, what I kind of expect Violet here to do is maybe go in the front, but still maybe save the bow-locked side for the end and then just take a death warp out of there. Because
that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got 5 hearts in green mail. It's not going to take you a whole lot of time there to go run into a couple of those red jellies. And to be honest, she might do that first.
Looks like both of them are just sticking with the chests that are in logic with only 1 key because... Oh, well, actually it looks like Andy only had the 1 key, so for him it's no question to just take those chests. But it looks like Violet might be saving her 2nd key for now.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Violet go into the back here, because 2 pod keys will allow her to basically raid all of the back of pod. But the one trick with that is everything is going to be out of logic. Now, both of these runners are going to kind of not really pay attention at some point to logic, but you know, it's good to keep it in mind at least. I mean, if something's back here, that's going to give Violet maybe a bit of an advantage early. She'll be able to get 5 chests here that Andy, on the other hand, won't be able to get. That's not a good start.
No. And taking the time to get the extra rupees. Oh, that's not much better. There's a bunch of rupees.
Well, the money's certainly going to be nice there. I mean, she's now set up for cash for the rest of the entire seed, pretty much.
Yeah.
Setting up for the hammer yump here, taking a couple of extra seconds there to make sure you get your palm placement right, and then you got to nudge yourself into just the right position before hopping over this gap. Having a little trouble getting to it there. You got to trying to move like 1 pixel at a time, and not too easy, but going ahead and got ourselves all the way across.
glove.
Yeah, no, so if we were talking about if you found something big back here, that would be quite an advantage. Well, unfortunately for Violet, it looks like that advantage isn't going to last very long, as Andy found his second small key and is just making his way back here as well. Mike looks to be setting up a save scum, though.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to see what's in the big key chest. Now, either one of those locations is logically locked behind all 6 pod keys, which makes me think that in the logic there's a fairly decent chance that that glove they found was actually meant to be their second. But
yeah, I'd almost.
And we do get the map check. Eastern is a crystal.
And that save scum there resulted in 20 rupees, so very quickly Andy just hits reset, and he still gets a pod key, and he gets a little bit of knowledge there. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing in chat a couple of interesting questions about that, because it does waste time to do that.
Yeah, and he didn't even go in and get that glove. He just quit out of there. So Andy's going to check some more entrances. Violet is going to explore Hyrule Castle.
Seems like the right play to do. You can go ahead and get pretty much all of the chests out of here. Should be good to go. This is going to be the only chest in logic there with that cape, but these other 3, you're not going to probably other 2 in the back here. You're not going to leave them alone.
No, of course not. Especially when you've already found the drop down for back of escape, you can get to all the chests. Yeah, actually, with that lamp, Dark Cross is in logic as well, so...
Definitely here. And so far, 20 rupees and the boomerang chest there for Violet. Andy finding a shop at the old Sasharala entrance.
Yeah, and Chad is pointing out, we were watching a Violet side, but Andy found a sword, but can't reach it. It's on Lake Hylia Island.
That's always a nice thing when you can see a sword, but you can't actually use it.
And Violet setting up for that death warp.
Andy needs to be a little careful there. Would be a very bad time to take an Octorok to the face here.
He's got that small shield if he is set up in the right direction, but...
Alright, found the entrance.
Found the front entrance to Turtle Rock.
Indeed here. So I mean, that's not the entrance you really want into Turtle Rock there, because there's not too much that you can do. You're really hoping to find the laser bridge entrance, but either way. So Violet's gonna go to this Dark Cross chest, grab themselves just that piece of heart. So nothing interesting back there yet. And looks like it's gonna take a death warp, and it's got something else on her mind.
Yep. Probably checking where those other 2 exits lead. Because Hyrule Castle is a... Oh, no. She just wants to go back to this area.
To be fair, she's already seen Bumper Ledge, and she's already seen the... the Turtle Rock Ledge there. So those are 2 of the most interesting ones. And at this point, it's probably more beneficial for her to just get out there and knock out the rest of these entrances.
Yeah, and it's going to probably finish up with race game, find out that that's the other entrance to Paradox that she didn't take. Is just going to save and quit instead of going back to check those other exits. I mean, yes, those two ledges that can pretty much only be reached by connectors are the most interesting, but I've got to point out that one up to Turtle Rock ledge is actually the only one they've found so far to either Death Mountain. So a connector to Light World Death Mountain would be pretty big right now.
Yeah, it's going to probably show itself here pretty soon. Now, if I'm seeing that right, I think we just ended up sticking the well today behind Agate 2.
I think you might be right. And a shovel is blocked by the glove that Violet has, so she's about to pick up a shovel. We'll see if that actually is of any value. But if it is,
yeah, it's just one more of those little things that at the moment Violet's kind of getting a little bit of a little bit just better use of her resources, really, at the moment.
And meanwhile, Andy is now going into Hyrule Castle. He'll probably check the other exits.
I'm curious if we're going to see a... Nope, I was wondering if a Violet was going to take the time to maybe do a Houlihan play or something like this. Instead? I mean, that's faster, sure. That kind of... I've never seen a current jump done in the light world like that, but excellent and very quick move over there by VioletPumpkin there. That was pretty... That was a nice little trick. VioletPumpkin might be one of the most underrated cross-key players around. Like, if you're not really familiar with the whole cross-keys scene, you might not have really heard of her, but man, I think she just showed off a little bit of tech there, and she is just obscenely good. I mean, underranked, underrated, but if you were up against her in this tournament, you were not particularly happy about it because you knew you were in for a tough one. So, not a shock to see her down here in the winners final. Now, going ahead, and since she got that glove, I mean, this is still technically pretty out of logic here. But just because the glove's locked behind 6 pod keys, but this is just, you've got a glove, let's press your early advantage, see if you can get a little bit more there, and I think that counts. There's your flippers.
Ooh, so that is, wow, is this even randomized?
I mean, that's an awkward little thing to put there. So that means your glove is the access to your flippers today.
Yeah. So now if we find like even a single pod key that's flipper locked, we'll know that those gloves were meant to be Titansmiths.
I mean, it's with the glove locked behind 6 pod keys like that, there's a very good chance that those were Titansmiths. But yeah, oh boy, that's gonna be a real. That's I'm gonna have to wait to see what the rest of the siege shows us at this point, because that's an interesting, spicy little meatball.
Yep, and we're going to get a bit of information on both sides. Where does Hyrule Castle lead? It leads out of a rock in the desert area, so he can't dip back in. We find Old Man Cave, so once we save the old man, we'll have a save and quit right down to this part of the map. Actually, not great. Save and quit spot.
Yeah, that's kind of ugly, honestly.
Yeah. And Violet finding a. Oh, there we go. This is Light World Death Mountain.
Yeah, and I want to say, just off the top of my head right now, I'd say she's got access to something like I want to say 9 entrances up here altogether. I might be miscounting even, and it's gonna start off with the King's Tomb as the first interesting one. Just with 3 bombs, unfortunately, though. Andy going from rock to rock to rock right now, so like missing that glove actually is not hurting him in a weird way.
Yeah, he's finding a lot of those entrances that you wouldn't be able to check otherwise.
Oh man, but yeah, it's kind of crazy luck on his side there, because otherwise he'd be leaving these light world locations basically behind. Instead, he's just kind of getting them. With VioletPumpkin finding the dam there, that's going to open up the single item underneath the flooded item there. But more importantly there, that's also going to give Violet the ability to at least go into Swamp Palace.
Yes, which I believe we did see over on Andy's side. Meanwhile, Andy is doing the fake flippers checks, and with the Moon Pearl, we'll be able to fake flipper into Waterfall Cave, which I believe Violet did not actually check because she didn't do a fake flipper and she didn't loop back around to get it once Zora gave her the real ones. Yes, it's pointing out if unless Waterfall. Oh, nope, he's not going to go all the way to Zora because of those missing 40 or 30 or so rupees. No, he checked the island first. He was the one that first gave us that info. But Andy does make it up to Death Mountain. And Violet has found Eastern Palace, so we should, within a few minutes, have our first crystal of the match, because we have gotten that map check confirming that this is a crystal, and we have everything needed to complete it.
Oh man, Andy is just having to use Cape to get through Death Mountain right now, with just a half a heart left here. Smartly realizing that, oh god, I'm about to die. What do I have that can save myself there? Pulls out the cape and dodging dead rocks and cabbages. This is a bit intense right now.
Yeah, and with how he got up here, I mean, it's not that hard to do the ooh, and big key to Turtle Rock over in Eastern Palace. But as I was about to say, with how he got up there, I mean, yeah, it's not that hard to fake flipper out to the Ice Palace entrance, but he is out of logic up here. Technically, so is Violet, but at least she's out of logic with an item that she just. God. Oh, and there's our other glove. So at
Okay, so I'm 30 minutes in and I've already lost the logic on this scene.
I think there has to be another connector leading up here, because otherwise there's like...
otherwise there's a flute hiding
otherwise
somewhere.
This is locked behind all 6 pod keys.
I mean, both...
Oh yeah, the flute. The flute is probably the simplest way to get up here.
I am going to laugh if it is all 6 pod keys, though.
Yeah, the flute is actually the simplest way. Either that or another connector that we haven't seen yet.
Well, it looks like we're going to probably have both runners joining. Yep, it looks like Andy's about to join Violet here in Eastern Palace. So this, getting this glove here is really going to help him out. That kind of just almost negates Violet's early advantage there of hammer jumping into the dark maze.
I mean, possibly. We don't know if the Titan's mitts will end up proving to be an advantage. They do have that moon pearl, so are a bunch more that Titan's mitts is Village of Outcasts access.
Which is true. That actually can be quite a time save there, without having to constantly be walking around there. But I mean, other than that, it's still a bit early for Titan's mitts to really making a huge advantage. But yeah, it's very easily could turn into something much bigger.
Oh yeah, we did have the bumper ledge, but Andy hasn't found that yet because he took the other exit out of Paradox Cave.
And that can be kind of hard there. Sorry, I kind of stepped on you there.
And yeah, Violet has our first crystal, and it came with a blue potion.
Tower of Hera is sitting here in one of our Spectacle Rock entrances. So yeah, it's starting to look more and more like that flute is going to be our logical access to the mountain, at least.
And we get a powder. And Violet says, no, actually, no, without hookshot, it's you can't Hera pot.
Yeah, not a whole lot she can do right there, but we'll be able to check the 2 entrances back here in the Dark World here, the Spike Cave entrance, and I want to say it's either a shop or a storyteller in the vanilla game. Oh well, Ganon's Tower.
Okay. Just 2 items available at the moment, and a check on a third. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even check what's on the torch. And just a couple of matching 50 rupees.
Oh, and
Yeah.
pointing out a good thing there in chat there that hadn't been thinking about is the old man cave. Technically, when you're saving the old man there, you can go in either entrance. Now, most of the time we go in the back entrance in entrance just because that's the way it works. But if that old man entrance is somewhere in the light world or dark world, one of these entrances that we haven't checked yet, then that would go ahead and put everything that we found up there into logic. So that's the cave in there. That'd be, yeah, that's the glove. That's the Turtle Rock Big Key. So there's a good chance that everything is actually okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, it was actually, I think what it meant was that we saw that what would normally be the old man cave entrance on the Death Mountain side, or the old man rescue entrance, I meant, was, I believe they said, Bumper Cave? Or no, maybe. There was a... Yeah, no, not the Bumper Wedge was Paradox Cave, but we saw actually, I think it was we saw the end of a one-way connector up here on Death Mountain once they had already gotten up here. So there's a decent chance that we are in logic. And we get a map check. Skullwoods is a pendant, Swamp Palace is a crystal, Turtle Rock is a 5/6 crystal.
Alright, looks like Violet is just going to clear out the south of Hyrule checks here. Andy on the other side, he's going to kind of go ahead and see exactly what's here in Turtle Rock, probably finish up the rest of his route up here. Violet's got to be a little careful as she's still on Green Mill, and those crabs take two hearts of damage from them.
Not worried at all, not even getting the refill.
Confidence of a speedrunner. I think that's what I've heard there. Confidence of a speedrunner. So we get to check this first chest here in Swamp now. Small key to Tower...
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock, yeah. Alright, so we're going to get to see
Violet's going to check the waterfall cave.
A little bit excited there with the bomb drop as we find out Hera today is our green pendant. And that's a book plus a key to Hyrule Castle there.
Andy, meanwhile, picking up his shovel.
So we can do two things with that book at this point. We can go ahead and check. Basically, we can go ahead and check PED, and we can go open that one entrance to Desert Palace, as Andy's taking a little bit of time here to go and set up a houlihan room.
Yeah, I guess just doesn't want to worry about money anymore, because he's already got enough for Zora, but, and I guess why not? It also gets him in a better area for,
I mean, if you're there and you need to get down to the southern part of the Hyrule as quickly as possible, that's one of the best ways to do it there. You're gonna get there extremely quick and give yourself 225.
quicker than a save and quit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can save and quit, but this way you also get tons of money.
Yeah. And we're going to get to see what that shovel and just a map.
Alright, so I'm looking at what Andy's doing right now, and this must be a fake flipper up to Zora or something here, because
Makes sense. I mean, with that moon troll, can even get the yeah, it does look like Violet has it marked as desert being a pendant. I saw that wrong, but looks like we've got full knowledge between our two runners.
That's kind of crazy going in, and not even 45 minutes into the game, we actually know pretty much what we have to clear the entire for the whole rest of the seed. That's
yeah. I mean, we know what all three pendants are. We don't know. We only know one of the two pyramid fairy crystals, but it's probably not going to be of any value anyway. Half the time in these things, I feel like Pyramid Fairy ends up being an entrance to a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy is one of those places where it's not gonna bite you until the time that it does, and when it does, it's gonna absolutely crush you. Alright. Violet going for round 2 here in the Gibdo room. These guys just not really wanting to play nice there, just kind of getting in her way the first time. Had to end up taking a quick death there, but not a huge time loss by any means. She gets around it, not too much problem the second time. Just gets a compass to Dark Palace for her troubles there. Gonna take the hand warp out of there.
And Andy also reacts to picking up that Desert Palace map by checking his map and has full knowledge of crystals.
Violet not having the best of luck here with connectors in Skull Woods. Got the worst layout possible here. Gonna have enough keys though to be able to check all of the chests here, but at that point is gonna be forced to save and quit because there is one chance that she could be able to get out of here, but I wonder if she'll take the time to go and check it, considering where the sanctuary start is.
And Andy's going to check what the desert entrance is.
Oh, and we've got a connector here. Now, I'm kind of wondering if this is what you're supposed to logically be doing. Because since Violet was able to pull that second glove out of the back of Pod here, I kind of wonder if this is going to lead to an entrance into Dark World, or maybe East Death Mountain or something like that.
I forget, where was that book?
The book was
Yeah.
locked by the flippers there, so...
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, it's just Graveyard Glitch.
So that was a great tease.
One of the gloves was in Pod, the other one was in Eastern Palace, but right now the only way we've found up to Death Mountain was flipper locked, and flippers were vanilla. So we're trying to figure out what the actual logical way to get up to the mountain to get the first glove is. Unless it turns out that it was... yeah, we've got a bunch of... we've got both of our runners checking North Dark World at around the same time.
And now Violet's got all of the information for the rest of the seed there as well, finding out that Skullwoods is...
including the knowledge of the other 5-6 crystal, Thieves' Town.
All right, Andy gonna go ahead and steal the key out of the back of a Desert Palace here, down at the old Curiosity Shop.
I mean, it's not a bad play once you know it's pendant, because chances are you're not really going to want to go to Lenmolas, so might as well take that key. Violet doesn't think to do that, though.
Yeah, stealing that key doesn't usually do a whole lot,
Wait, this is our, no, wait, this just gets us up to, Dark World, Death Mountain.
Well, but that's the third...
Floating Island.
Yeah, that's the third of our probably the most important connectors to find here, so... Not necessarily exactly wanting to do that right now because we don't have the mirror to really take advantage of it, but still good ones to find.
Yeah, and we've I think we have found a string of connectors that would lead us to West Death Mountain now. So we are back in logic. Well, except for the part where Violet has the Titansmiths locked by all 6 pod keys.
Andy is just going to be keep walking through this keep walking through this hookshot cave connector here just to go ahead and get in. It's going to be his easy access into North Dark World here. It gets through things pretty quickly that way. Violet seems to be using the bumper ledge connector to do kind of the same thing after a save and quit. I mean, both ways are pretty much identical.
And Violet has found her first sword in Desert Palace, but having not stolen that key, doesn't have nearly as many chests to check in here, but the one she was able to get was pretty useful.
All right, gonna make our way over here to the dig game on Violet's side here, and then there's probably a good chance we're gonna pick up Jeremiah and take him for a bit of a tour while we're checking the rest of these southern entrances. Might end up going all the way up to Catfish here at the end. Going to be kind of a question though. If you take Jeremiah over to the pod area, you have to decide whether or not you want to go check the actual entrance to pod with him, because if you do that, you're gonna switch your follower there for Kiki the monkey.
Yeah, you can with those flippers. You can get all the way into the pod area even without hammer.
Well, it is time for the great grand tradition of the Froggy World Tour, as Andy's kind of right behind VioletPumpkin at the moment. They're checking through Village of Outcasts. We'll probably end up getting that sword pretty quick, but the big question, I guess, is kind of like you mentioned there, since he stole that key, knowing that Desert Palace is a green pendant, is he just going to be willing to go ahead and sequence break the right side and check what's in there?
Oh, I'm almost sure that's its plan. The only question is, will he check one of the connectors once he's over on that side?
Well, we got a big key to Thieves Town there in the Ice Rod Cave for Violet, so that's a good start.
Very nice.
Finding a couple of interesting single item caves, at least right now, is where we're going to grab go ahead and grab the chicken house just for 20 rupees. As Andy's going to go out that center entrance to.
Oh man!
Yeah,
I had been thinking that it was kind of curious that he checked an exit before checking those two items on the right side. I guess he was thinking he'll check the center one first and then exit through the right one after getting those chests, and he couldn't actually get back in because it popped him out of the mire entrance.
I mean, that's both good and bad. Because, I mean, for one, he gets the knowledge of how to get out there, and for two, he finds the hook shot. Sure, that's the way it's to work.
Mitts haven't quite led to anything big yet.
I mean, if you're rooting for Violet right now, what you're really gonna start rooting for is for her to find the flute or something here pretty quickly, because that hook shot's gonna it's not gonna open up a ton, really, but it's a extremely nice thing to have at this point. It's gonna allow Andy to at least check Hookshot Cave and get the four chests out of that.
Violet picking up Quake, so if she ends up going through Desert Palace, she'll actually be able to get back in through that central entrance.
All right, moment of truth time. Is this hook shot actually going to lead to something important for Andy? Gonna go with our first chest, just having a heart container. So good, but not good, but not amazing. A Bombos
Another heart
medallion.
container. Well, that could be. We did find Iced Palace, so.
On Violet's side, we did find Ice Palace. Yeah.
It looks like, just Violet is the only one that found that. But that Bombos medallion has a bit more value before you find the fire rod.
Yeah. Not sure exactly what we're at what point we're gonna be dealing with that, but I mean, you're not going to really want to go into Ice Palace until you find your hammer. And then you might not want to go until you find the Ice Palace big key, depending on what your risk tolerance level is. Because if you very few things worse than orphaning that Ice Palace big chest and having to go back in there later for it.
I believe the Smith House is in Kakariko. It's not in its vanilla spot, but it's in southern Kakariko. So, this is... Violet will probably take the Smith home after she's done in the Dark World here. And we find the potion shop at its Crossworld vanilla location.
To be fair, that was some extremely good timing for VioletPumpkin there, as she was down to just 2 hearts there, and pretty much any enemy in the Dark World's going to do 2 hearts to you on green mail. So, getting a little nervous, but and there's your hammer on the catfish today. So that's a massive find there for VioletPumpkin, because I mean, you need that to clear out at least 2 of the pendant dungeons, 3 of the crystal dungeons today. That's what I meant to say. So that is a huge find for her. To be fair, I kind of wonder if it's time to kind of start a clock here on what's the difference in time between VioletPumpkin finding that hammer and Andy finding that hammer, because he's going to have to go all the way up to Catfish for it here, and man, that could be quite a while. There's lots of other entrances to check. Coming back for that Mimic Cave that she found, and unfortunately didn't really get anything out of that, but we're going to continue on with the Froggy World Tour, as this guy has just been dragged everywhere for this. And I think Violet is going to run up against that kind of Kiki or Jeremiah decision coming up pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, you can't get back over to North Dark World from here. Maybe is going to just finish up at... Yeah, it looks like she's just gonna finish it up at the pyramid.
Well, that's the question here. How much further does she plan on taking this frog? Because if you've taken him this far, you probably want to at least get him back to Kakariko. You don't want to get into the... You don't necessarily want to get into the pod area here, but we're headed that direction. Maybe she's going to orphan pod? Oh, there's some indecision there. She just realized what is she what is she gonna do there with the hammer? You can come back here, and yep. So she's gonna take a quick save and quit there, knowing that if she gets the flute, that's a quick and easy check, and even then, it's not that long of a walk to get there. Gonna go back to Kakariko, turn in the Smiths, and then it's gonna be kind of a question what to do next, really. Andy's walking in to pick up his Thieves Town big key.
And, oh, this is another Turtle Rock dip.
A little bit better equipped than the last time. And with 2 keys deciding that, you know what, I don't even want to deal with the pokey right now. I'm just gonna go.
I mean, you don't really need that many small keys in entrance rando.
Yeah, as long as you've got 1 Turtle Rock key, you're generally gonna be okay. Violet's showing just how good Quick Swap is.
And then takes the intentional death.
That's some game knowledge there for you on Violet's screen there. Down underneath the bottom right pot in that room, there is a bunny beam. She just walked right over there with 2 hearts. I was getting kind of nervous, and then came in there obviously with a much better plan and just walked over, powdered that bunny beam, and immediately got herself back up to full health. Yep. Take a quick death warp.
Taking another death warp.
Yeah, no mirror. It's actually probably good for these guys that we haven't seen any sort of mail upgrades yet. Because then death warps become much more of a hassle.
And we're finally going to get to see what this Smith has been blocking.
Just a heart container
Just a
there.
heart container.
Now on the other side, we do get to see exactly what do we have sitting here at Magic Bath today. That's the Pegasus boots. So there's a nice find for VioletPumpkin, as we're going to be going fast now from the rest of the seed.
Yeah, but Andy is getting very close to his hammer, so he'll have access to the Pegasus boots as well. The only question is, when will he get over to that kind of isolated check? Meanwhile, VioletPumpkin diving on into Misery Mire.
I mean, to be honest, it makes sense. I'm looking over what has been found right now by both runners, and there's not a whole lot of entrances that are particularly interesting. I mean, now both of the runners still need to find Thieves Town. That's one of the bigger questions here. And as far as Thieves Town so far, we haven't seen it in any of the easier entrances, which kind of leads me to believe it probably is locked behind Mirror.
Yeah, the big difference is that Andy checked that connector in Desert Palace, and it led him to the hook shot. So he's got that knowledge, and we get our first male upgrade over in Misery Mire.
Yeah, right now, to kind of answer a question in chat, does somebody have the advantage? It's not very clear, because if you go with Violet, she's got the boots, but Andy's got the hook shot right now. The hook shot hasn't led to anything, but both of them are not exactly in the easiest locations for the other one to find. That hook shot was basically in the Misery Mire area there that you had to go through the center Desert Palace entrance to get to, while the boots are at Magic Bat, which is kind of one of those things that can be easy to put off.
Yeah, especially since without those Titan's mitts, which there's less incentive to go back to Kakariko, because Violet was brought back there by having the smith.
Now, I kind of wonder on the other side. Oh, so go ahead.
Yeah, and the big difference, though, is that hook shot that Andy has led to the Bombos medallion, which will allow him to pretty much clear out Ice Palace. Would have to use some sequence breaks to get to a lot of the chests. Well, actually, no, not a lot of the chests. Some of the chests, and to get to the boss, because we don't have that big key.
Well, the thing I'm kind of thinking Andy might consider doing next is it might be a good time to head towards GT. And speaking of which, we've now found Thieves Town. It was in one of those checks that Violet decided not to do, so Andy's going to be able to full clear this right now. So this is going to be a full 8 checks here for Andy that Violet's just not going to be able to do. Hopefully, well, we're going to have to see if this is going to be an issue here. And Violet has now found the back of Skull Woods, so if she wants, she can knock this out for a pendant. I don't know if She's found 2 of the Skullwoods keys here, so I mean, technically not in logic, but kind of up to her whether or not you want to leave behind Mothula at this point. Yeah, it looks like we're going to go ahead and do the kind of safe play, not skip anything, and just go ahead and take care of these Gibdos here. Unfortunately, with the Quake Medallion here, it doesn't kill them. It just stuns them. So you've still got to be able to get across this gap, and then unfortunately, you're going to be dodging them while you're trying to light the torches here. Plenty of time on her side, though, as Andy's making his way through the back of this, and Violet unfortunately was not able to powder that bunny beam, so going to be kind of going in with less hearts than you want.
Looks like, yep, going to pop a red potion. Get a
Pretty sure she was
net on the in the attic chest of Thieves Town, and Violet is using the hammer on Mothula.
Ooh, and he is being obnoxious today. That takes him down there. Finally gets that last hammer shot to stick, and oh, there you go. There's your flute. So that should be a hook shot for Violet here pretty quickly. Oh, but on Andy's side, down in the Maiden Cell, we just found the Cane of Samaria, so both runners getting huge finds right after, one after the other.
And we find another pod key. That's actually the first one we've found since, like, the opening minutes of the siege, when we found 2 of them.
Yeah, and that flute is just such a convenient find for Violet there. Pretty much everything that Andy had an advantage on were locations that now she can easily get back to with the flute, and that really is going to help her out. And I guess at this point she hasn't checked these Eastern Palace locations, so she'll go ahead and do this while Andy's going to be the first one to show us exactly what Kiki was hiding.
I'm sure it's nothing but disappointment.
Well, I'm looking here. I think we've found all of our dungeons on both runners' sides here, except for Aga Tower, and we do need that today, because that's where Ganon would be hiding today.
Yes, we do need to find Aga Tower.
And you are 100% correct about that sucker being very, very disappointing there. One bloopy on the library ledge. I'm sitting here and thinking about that now. Now we only have the one castle tower key, so we're going to be looking for a castle tower key, and a couple of other things here. Now, there is a situation that can happen in this game. It is exceptionally rare, where you could put the Aga Tower entrance behind the GT entrance.
I was thinking of that same thing.
It doesn't happen often. It's really funny when it does happen, though.
And Andy picking up the mirror shield off the pyramid. Meanwhile, Violet has pointedly avoided all shields on the overworld.
I'm very surprised Andy decided to pick that up there. I mean, that mirror shield is good for, the laser eyes in Turtle Rock and such, but other than that, it's actually adds lag to pretty much everything that you do. And I'm not surprised. It looks like Andy is probably heading up back to GT right now, which makes sense with the items that he has there. He's going to be able to clear out. Well, no, he's going to go check. Oh yeah, I guess he hasn't been to the east side of Death Mountain yet. I don't think either runner has.
This is our first access to it, with no mirror and no connectors leading to it, and to either the east side or to the top of west side, like to the Hera area. We get a GT small, but yeah, that hookshot is our first access to any of these entrances.
Yeah. And that's going to be the Cane of Samaria over there on VioletPumpkin's side. So, yeah, we're at this point. Yeah, you kind of have to start giving a bit of an advantage to Violet here, because you feel like that hookshot's going to show up really, really quickly. Violet getting a little off script here on the blind fight. I don't think we're too worried about it. Still got 8 hearts remaining there, so she's gonna clear this here. Now, yeah, finding the, we're still trying to figure out the logic for how you were supposed to get to the west side of Death Mountain today, as Violet picks up her second crystal. I'm still thinking that flute might be your logical access to the mountain right now.
Flutes were in logic. Flute is not in logic because we had to bomb jump to get across there, where the flute is locked by Fire Rod.
But we haven't seen some of the other stuff yet. So until I see Fire Rod, I'm still going to kind of go, I think that might be it. I don't know.
Actually, in entrance rando, I think it's also logically locked behind all of the
Skull Woods keys, yeah. But I mean,
Hammer was glove locked. Where was Hammer? I forget.
Hammer was on Catfish, so yeah, Hammer
Oh
was
yeah,
definitely
Hammer was on
Robot.
Catfish, so... Yeah, Flute was Boots Locked, which was...
Yeah, okay, so yeah, it's definitely not Flute, but I don't know. I mean, the other option is we haven't been
technically
to...
it can still be Flute if we find both a mirror and a connector leading us out of Hammer Pegs, because I don't think we've checked Hammer Pegs yet.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is one thing. Is we're into Rando Room over on Andy's side, and they finding the ice rod there. That's not likely something that Violet will miss for very long. So yeah, the other guess that we're kind of maybe not really thinking of here is that could it easily just be something on an entrance connector to Tower of Hera that puts all of this in logic that we just haven't found yet. Andy did find the bumper cave connector there and didn't go through it at the time because I'm not 100% sure if he had. I guess he did have Cape, but he decided to just save and quit once he found that hook shot.
Yeah, actually, I think there is one connector that we've seen that we've never checked where it leads to, and that is the right side of Desert, because Violet didn't check the connectors at all, and Andy got spit out of the Misery Mire entrance without the Quake Medallion. So it's quite possible that wherever
I am trying to rectify what I just saw Andy do in my head. As he picks up his Master Sword there, gets a small key to Swamp Palace, so he's got now full access over to Swamp, interestingly enough, and ended up... what's causing me so much problem here is I saw him go from the bottom in the hidden floor room to get over there, and I don't know how he did it. Because I think I tried that as a kid and it just doesn't work that way.
and like Violet just wants to keep on trucking through Turtle Rock, having that Cane of Samaria is just going to go through and use that, wait, are you sure you want to be using your last TR? Oh, well, I mean, she could always go and get grab the one from the Pokey near the, big key chest if she really needs one and she's, like, otherwise in go mode.
Right, so it's, I mean, it's probably a good plan to go ahead and
bridge.
I mean, this will give us, at the very least, give us some good information about where the heck Laser Bridge takes you to.
Yeah, and I've never actually seen that room that Andy was just in.
Well, he is going to be setting himself up for one of the probably trickier bomb jumps in the game here. He's going for a bootless fire rodless right side GT. This is definitely not easy to do.
Yeah, and we did get another pod key over here on Laser Bridge. And Violet's just going to use Cape. And where does Laser Bridge take us?
Takes
That's
us out
our
to Hammer
connector
Peg.
to Hammer Pegs, but there's something here I'm almost certain was definitely glove locked. It has to be just a connector that I mean, I think it was that connector where we normally take the old man out of.
Right, and Andy got the pod big key there out of the.
We've got something. We got something else big.
Right, that Castle Tower
Just
key
had
showed up.
efficiency key, so those mitts are required. Well, actually, no. You can mirror to get the. Or no, wait. That would be an inverted. Yeah, mitts hard required.
Yeah, you've got to get yourself. Andy's got to get himself into Dark Maze. I can't see him missing that now that he's got 3 pod keys and the big key here. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be pretty high on his list to do. And yep, he's in there right now.
Yeah, I feel like that's the play, and with having already saved Scum to know that that the big key chest isn't worth it. He is still going to have to orphan Harmless Hellway, but otherwise this is going to be a full clear.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty good there for Andy, but Violet on the other side is now in the mire area, which should get her hook shot in just about, I don't know, 30 seconds or so.
Thinks about it, remembers that she already checked what was on the torch there, and still did not steal that big key. There's the end of Bumper Cave.
You know, to be honest, I'm looking over the things that we need for everything in this seed as Violet goes ahead and gets her hook shot, which I'm going to be very happy about. We're still missing, well, at least, I mean, for as few big keys as we've found, we're right now, I guess, only missing the Mire Big Key. Am I right?
Mire Big and the Fire Rod.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll need Fire Rod, but I mean, I was talking just keys. But yeah, wow. Kind of crazy so far here. And one of our trackers there, Jinxie Girl, saying that the logic there is, so far, is that the Desert Connector to Misery Mire to the Bumper Cave to Death Mountain, which that's kind of what I'm guessing here.
Yeah,
probably
that sounds about right.
Right. So I mean, Violet on the other side, she's gonna go ahead and head up to the east side of Death Mountain, check a few things. She's going to be able to, with those mitts though, as well, she'll be able to check this one entrance here that Andy was not able to earlier, assuming this dead rock gets out of the way. That's the archery game, so money's not an issue at this point, so we're not going to worry about that. Huh. Okay, so Violet deciding not to go to GT at first here is instead gonna come over to the Dark World, to Death Mountain here. Come to the Bonk Rocks and just end up with this. Pulling out her flute, but I don't know where she thinks she's going. And we're gonna try this again in just a moment.
Yeah. This could be the GT play. Looks like, yeah, up, back, fluting back to 1.
I wonder, I guess the big question here is whether or not Violet decides to sequence break the right side there with the lamp. She'll have an easier time with it as she has the boots and such.
Yeah, and Andy was just in Kakariko, did not make that play over to Magic Bat.
To be honest, at this point for Andy, I'm not 100% sure that he's gonna need the flute, or I need the boots either.
Yeah, that is true. Boots don't actually seem to be locking anything that we know of. Yeah, I don't think.
I think the biggest
maybe if there's still an item cave that we haven't found yet, and there's because we had I don't know. Violet would have checked all of the boot spots, I think. Oh yeah, duh. Of course we need the boots.
Oh jeez. Yes, kind of a small thing there. Thank you, chat.
Yeah.
How are you going to get to Ganon without the boots? Right. I was just thinking to myself, that's not important.
Yes.
I mean, there's other ways into Ganon, but that will get you disqualified in this tournament. Alright, well, Violet's about to get her ice rod here out of Rando Room as Andy's making his way back into Swamp, kind of as is tradition. You had at least one of the big keys of your dungeon actually in the dungeon here, so he's going to get to full clear this, not leave anything behind, which is kind of nice. Coming to the compass room here, and of course getting the compass to Swamp Palace here. So Swamp Palace having a whole lot of things from actual Swamp Palace. And the fire rod.
Okay,
well,
that is boots are on Magic Bat.
Now, kind of looking at it here, the Meyer Big Key, I guess, would give us, is that going to just give us no mode?
Meyer Big Key would give us no mode. On Andy's side, he also needs the boots and the second castle tower key. And on Violet's side, she needs Fire Rod and what?
And
Might just be yeah, looks like just Fire Rod and Fire Big. Oh, and Pod Big.
And more importantly though, we do need the entrance to Aga Tower. Jinxie Girl, one of our trackers there, pointing that small fact out there. Actually, big shout outs to both of our trackers there, Jinxie Girl and BeLiberal there, for making sure that, you know, we don't say the wrong thing too many times today. And I'm actually quite kind of agreeing with people in chat here. I think there's a pretty decent chance that our Aga Tower today is going to be mirror locked, so I don't think we're set yet.
Yeah, there are quite a few places that could be mirror locked. Because right now we still do not have any access to the top of Light World Death Mountain. If it's at Hera, if it's at any drop down.
Oh, speaking of mirror, there you go. It's in
yeah,
Palace.
There's that mirror.
All right, looked like Violet there had a little bit of is having just a little bit of indecision there. Had been fluted down to the Lake Hylia Island. It's going to decide not exactly to do that quite yet. Instead, it's headed somewhere else.
I would think, having just picked up that Swamp Small, I feel like Swamp Palace is the most reasonable play. Might have mismarked the map a little bit.
She's rechecking entrances. I'm wondering if she's lost something.
Yeah, I think she must have mismarked the map.
Oh boy. This is concerning. One of the hardest things to do in entrance is to kind of keep track of where everything is. Oh boy, she's rechecking quite a few different things here. As Andy picks up his fourth crystal over out of Swamp Palace there. Was able to, he's got
maybe this was what she was looking for. Yeah, she saves and quits. It was kind of interesting because I seem to remember that they first found Hookshot Cave from the other side. But
yeah, it's kind of interesting here. I'm not really sure what Violet is doing at the moment. Gonna run up here and check. She's going in for Ice Palace. Okay, yeah. I mean,
that's yeah, maybe following the logic, following the chain of progression a little too closely. Got that Bombos medallion and immediately dove into Ice Palace.
I would rather be doing Swamp here than Ice Palace, especially since you're pretty likely to leave the Ice Palace big key behind, big chest behind. Leaving the big chest behind is much less of a big deal.
Yeah, I was about to say, that maybe she doesn't want to go into Swamp without its big key, which we know is in Swamp, but doesn't have the Ice Palace big key either, so that doesn't really...
This is going to be a bad time for her. She didn't hit the switch to knock the blocks down, and she doesn't have the Ice Palace big key. She's going to be double dipping this. So when you do Icebreaker, part of the trick of doing Icebreaker is you have to make sure that you walk into the other room. Hold on. Oh, big key of Tower of Hera. Okay. Is you walk into the room with the colored switch there, and you gotta switch it over before you do Icebreaker, or else you're not going to be able to complete the dungeon here, because the blocks will be in your way here, and she doesn't have the big key to open the door to get to Cold Stare. So she's forced herself into a double dip here. This is really unfortunate for her. Unless the Ice Palace big key is sitting here in the iced tea room. This is going to be the end of her time in the Ice Palace. Unless there's something like she's not going to be able to get back there. I feel like maybe losing a connector here kind of has caused her some problems. And yeah, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame there. Hopefully she just thinks to save and quit and go to Swamp Palace here on the other side.
Yeah, that would be the smart play.
Instead, seems to be going back into the Dark World up in the Village of Outcasts area. Andy, on the other hand, is motoring his way right over to Trinex right now, so he's gonna that's gonna be dungeon number 5 for him completed. Yeah, I wonder what she's looking for right now, because she's rechecking a lot of entrances that she's already found as Andy's moving into his Trinex fight, opting for some backdoor strats here against him. It's not going to get the 1 cycle there, but... Or it's going to get the 1 cycle, not going to get the 0 cycle there, sorry. And down goes Trinex over on Andy's screen here as Violet continues checking things that she's unfortunately already seen here. Going to end up taking this connector.
This is actually maybe has she seen this? I remember Andy taking that connector. I'm not sure if this is something she's seen.
Well, she hasn't been to the top of Dark Death Mountain yet. No, she hadn't been up there yet. But I mean, for her, okay, this is good because Swamp Palace is not this way. Swamp Palace is literally right outside that door. Oh wait, no, it's not. but it's not this way either. Oh wait, no, it is this way. Okay, I'm getting myself confused. My bad. Okay, so she's into Swamp Palace. Everything is okay. There's nothing to worry about. We're back. We're back in business here. As Andy finds his butter sword along with the big key to Skull Woods back there.
Wall kicks. Ganon is behind Aggo 1.
Yeah, so we've still got lots of fun things here for both these runners, even though Violet did kind of have...
and so... the second Castle Tower key is in purple chest. And the boots are on Magic Bat.
Yeah, so for Andy, I mean that's the kind of the big key for both of these runners is we've got to still find that Misery Mire big key before anything else gets interesting. Now, Violet's already been into Misery Mire. I don't think Andy dipped it yet. And I wonder if that's going to be something he's going to consider doing here pretty quick. We've got 3 entrances at the top of the castle here that we haven't seen yet. So it's a good chance that we might find at least part of the answer to our puzzle up here. Well, instead, we just... Andy catches his toe on his portal there, so he's going to have to redo it. So we found the Turtle Rock big chest. Didn't have anything of interest in there.
And nothing of interest on the left side of top of the castle. Let's see what's on the right side.
One of the most convenient big bomb shops you'll ever see. That's incredible.
Yeah, and right after finishing off Turtle Rock as well. Yeah, I mean, that is the best possible spot to put the big bomb shop.
Yeah, I can actually see on the commentary stream, I get to see actually Andy's stream. His reaction to finding that bomb shop was pretty funny. he's kind of laughing his head off over there.
Unfortunately, it's just front of the tavern.
Alright, so
big bomb, not blocking anything.
Well, let's think about this then. Where exactly is that? Oh? Trying to think, where exactly haven't we seen yet? Yeah, I guess Skullwood's back. Vanilla Turtle Rock entrance.
Skullwood's back. Vanilla Turtle Rock entrance. I don't think we've seen top of Light World Death Mountain.
True.
And that might be where Andy's going now, because he's going into that connector that popped them out of Floating Island.
Right. There's Cave 45, there's the checkerboard entrance, there's the entire desert ledge as well we haven't been to. I mean, we've still got, I'd say, five or six interesting places left here. Andy's going to grab a small key to another small key to pod, so that gives him 5 pod keys. So his mitts are almost in logic.
Andy's gonna head over and pop open the Turtle Rock entrance.
VioletPumpkin opting for just the 4 spin strats here with on Argus there, nice and safe there, gets all of that taken care of and is now just basically a crystal behind and 2 crystals behind Andy actually at the moment, but with the advantage of having everything that she needs for go mode outside of the Misery Mire big key. Oh, and the pod big key too, right?
Yes,
yeah.
the pod big
that's
key.
Important. But the nice thing for VioletPumpkin here is that she is going to be able to, if she wants to, go ahead and pick up the.
Oh, there's a big key.
To desert.
Nope,
Palace.
that one's desert.
Yeah.
That one's desert.
Yeah, I mean the thing with VioletPumpkin right now is if for some reason, say she finds that Mire big key, there's a reasonable chance if she gets to, or if she gets to GT first, then okay, so here we go. We found Aga Tower. That's in the Spiral Cave entrance.
Yep. Yeah, and that is a drop down from the top of, actually I believe Spiral Cave is one that you can also get to by mirroring from the left side of TR Ledge, but either way you have to mirror to get here.
Okay, Violet remembering this time to hit the switch, so she'll be able to complete this right now. She's still going to be leaving behind that Ice Palace big chest. At this point, I think you're just going to kind of hope that it's not this, and it wasn't. Oh, okay, I'm being correct with you.
Yeah, I thought it was center drop, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, center drop, we still do have a connector that you can get to there. I don't know if either of the runner kind of remembers exactly where that is at the moment, but that is something available for both of these guys as an alternate route if they want. Andy's going to go back through Spiral Cave here.
But yeah, so if for that one, yeah, you need to take the connector to Floating Island and drop down.
All right, Violet's moving into her cold stare fight now. It's gonna have a pretty decent time with it, I imagine, as she's got full magic here, Bombos Medallion plus Fire Rod plus, what is that, 15 hearts with Red Mail? She's probably gonna be all right.
Yeah, looks good.
Andy doing his ledge checks here. So far not finding anything of interest, but yeah, that's just a fortune teller there on the other side. He's already checked that, and this leaves the Spiral Cave entrance as Cold Stare is very quickly dispatched on VioletPumpkin's side. And yeah, no, there was nothing on the on that ledge.
And yeah, chat pointed out Andy, though he did steal that key, did not actually check those 2 chests in Desert.
That brings up a good point there. As Andy, yep, is going to go ahead, and since he hasn't dipped Misery Mire yet, he's gonna drop a little bit of time in here looking for a couple of items in here. It makes sense from his perspective. There's 6 chests that he has access to right now. So knowing that, it's a pretty good play to do here. Now Violet on the other side is heading towards the pod area again. Or maybe this is a pyramid play. I think, yeah, this is going to be a pyramid play for her, I believe.
Where's she going? Oh, did she not check Hobo?
I think she checked Hobo, but maybe I'm wrong here. It looks like we're wrong.
I mean, with those flipper checks were so long ago. Oh, nope, she did. She just forgot that she did. This is going to be the top of the pyramid check.
Unfortunately for VioletPumpkin here, she's not going to be able to check this big bomb here, so that'll be something she'll have to come back for. And I've been kind of wondering that same thing, Jinxie Girl. I'm not 100% sure that she uses map tracker.
So getting the Turtle Rock entrance, nope, she doesn't want to go in that way, take the longer way. I guess she knows where Laser Bridge is.
Well, she'll come back in here to
Oh, okay, yeah, she was just checking that other thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like she is going to take this all the way over to Trinex. And then see where it pops her out and get those 2 fire-locked chests.
Unfortunately, this is going to drop her off at the front entrance of Turtle Rock, which if I'm remembering right, I want to say was over around the Sasharalla's house or something. Flute 5? Okay, yeah, thank you, Jinxie.
Yeah, Flute 5, but she'll probably go right back in to get to the firelock chests, which will give her her butter sword.
Alright, Andy's finished up his Misery Mire checks now, and at this point, he's kind of has to decide exactly what he wants to do next. Now, I'm wondering if this is the Smith chain for him, and if this is, then that's going to give him pretty much everything he needs, plus I would say at least a 1 dungeon advantage.
Yeah, the advantage really being that pod big that Violet still doesn't have. Not to mention knowledge of Aga Tower. And with the mirror, we'll have a much shorter trip to dropping off the blacksmith.
Alright, there goes VioletPumpkin. She takes down Trinex fairly easily there, and that's going to tie us up on crystals at least. And pretty soon here, yeah, as we hit the 2-hour point, we are... this is going to be a very kind of... We're still not sure exactly which way this race is going to shake out here. Andy's gonna finally get to his castle tower key and such like that real quick, as he remembers real fast, oh yeah, right, I should probably do powder. This is going to be pretty good for him. Now, VioletPumpkin here, on the other hand, needs to get to the right side of GT for her pod big key, but both runners are still missing the Misery Mire big key. So it's going to be a race to see who can find that first, I'd say. Alright, looks like Violet is heading back towards the pyramid here. Is probably going to go ahead and check that big bomb. And then it's just, you got a list of places that you want to check. You got to figure out exactly which one is the case. Seeing some call for a Misery Mire big key on Ped, that would be entertaining at this point. Now, this is interesting for VioletPumpkin here, as going through Spiral Cave is going to kick her out on the Turtle Rock Ledge. That's going to be pretty close to getting back to GT, if that's going to be good for her, as Andy's picking up his Castle Tower key. He's going to do Bombos. Oh, big key do! Fire! It's on Bombos.
Yep, yeah, that's it. That's go mode.
That is, yes, that is go mode for Andy. So he's now just got to do a go mode, a quick go mode Ice Palace here, and then it's just complete these last 3 dungeons for himself real fast, and that'll be that. This he'll be done very quickly. So clock is ticking on VioletPumpkin here. And unfortunately, we're headed to Tower of Hera over on her side.
Yeah, well, I mean, has everything needed to full clear it? It is a green pendant. It's,
It just kind of, there's a way that cross keys works out for you sometimes. Sometimes you find your sequence break your mitts really early. You think it's going to be a fantastic thing, and instead you end up checking a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need. as Andy is just going to motor through this. He's not bothering to check any chests whatsoever because there's absolutely nothing that he could grab out of anything here that would help him, because he's got Butter Sword. Doesn't have silver arrows. That's like the only argument for checking anything would be grabbing silver arrows, but
yeah, he doesn't need those.
We
found that big key to GT. Maybe that'll push Violet back over there?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking she's probably headed there next. Hopefully, I mean, she's only got two small keys, so I can't imagine she climbs. But yeah, hello, Cold Stare. Goodbye, Cold Stare.
Yeah, the GT big key, there's 4 checks across the top of that. Actually, this is her first time up to the top of the mountain. She may end up skipping GT once she finds Aga Tower.
Yeah, it's going to be the disappointment there where she picks up that big key to Desert Palace. It's that end of Cross Keys disappointment where you're looking for a big key and you find one, but
looking for 2 big keys.
Well, yeah, but you find one and then you find out it's not one of the ones that you need. As Andy's going back into Misery Mire, this is going to be a quick dash to Vitreous, and then up the mountain again to get yourself to Aga Tower, and then that's going to be all she wrote.
Yep, and Violet is doing the GT play. At least, so that will get the pod big.
And Andy's setting up here for looks to be in a different spooky setup than I think a lot of people are used to seeing here. This is looks like, yeah, Violet's gonna at least go back here and check the GT big chest. This is the spooky setup for when you don't have the bird, when you can't just flute like you can in a typical open seed there. Saves a little bit of time, not a ton of it. And yep, unfortunately, it does look like Violet is going to go ahead and climb GT here. It's not gonna help, unfortunately. This is just kind of put the nail in the coffin here.
It's fun for us as viewers because we get to see some checks that we wouldn't otherwise get to see.
I suppose, but I kind of this is one of those times where I'd almost kind of hope that you don't usually wish for a death on the gauntlet here, but in this case I might be like, just if you took a death on the gauntlet and thought about doing something else, it might be nice, but
no, she'd go back.
Well, Andy is now into the Aga tower climb here, so this he's got himself probably about 5 minutes from finishing this game.
Again, there's 9 more checks.
Okay, well, there's a death in the gauntlet.
Because we know that the choose walk.
Yeah, I think we're kind of losing you there, but so Violet,
Well,
she's gonna go for this again here. Well, moving on here, Andy's gonna go into the Aga fight. So if you want, you can go ahead and guess the number of blue balls in for chat there. For how many blue balls do you think Aga's gonna fire over again at Andy today? The top you can get there would be 15, so we'll see exactly how mean of a seed this thing was planning on being for our runners. As there's blue ball number 1, so if you just guess 0, whoops. All right, Violet getting having a little bit better time here in the second gauntlet attempt. And down goes the wizard there, and unfortunately I started watching Land Mode 2 and I stopped counting there, so I'm gonna say what, 2, 3? Something like that.
Like that.
Okay, quick save and quit to Sanctuary over on Andy's side, and then he's gonna dash over to the Lumberjack tree, and that'll be that for him. Alright, Andy already got the 1-1 setup here on Ganon into phase 2, giving him a couple of extra hits just because it's fun. Probably because that Misery Mire key being on Bombos is just a fun place to do it.
And from his standpoint, I mean, he wasn't like, he went from 3 items away from go mode to go mode in a very short amount of time. And silver arrows were in Tower
Hera basement. That's the only place they could be. Thank you, VioletPumpkin.
Violet went back in. I thought Violet went back in for the basement.
She didn't go in for the basement. She ended up going into GT immediately after when she got that GT big key. and did not go into the basement. So that must be where our silvers are today, which is kind of funny. All right, Andy almost done here with the pig already, as Violet's finishing off Agate 2. And there he goes. That is Ganon down over there on Andy's side. He's just got to cross this bridge, and he'll be moving on into the grand finals. And sure enough, Andy finishes in first place with a time of 2:15.59. Get your GGs into chat there. Andy's moving on to the grand finals, like I said before, where as the winner of the winner's bracket there, he's going to start off with a 1-0 lead on whoever it is makes it out of the loser's bracket right now. We're going to have 4 runners there still remaining, and got a couple more races yet there to see. And Violet going through the well here, finding that this was not where she needed to be. And yep, sure enough here, that's going to be a forfeit there on her side. And get your GGs into chat for VioletPumpkin as well. They're putting up a valiant fight there. Just unfortunately not able to find that Misery Mire big key in time. Hopefully we'll be able to get both runners in here for a quick chat here, but that was a lot of fun race on both sides. As I see Andy there over on the other side there, looks like he's about to come in here. I have to ask him a few questions there about, you know, how he felt when those boots were as late as they were. And we're now joined in commentary booth here by Andy there. GG's there, bud.
GG.
So kind of see you shaking your head there. So those late boots, what were you thinking there at that point? I think you had a nice eye roll at that.
Yeah, I mean, those were in logic for a little while, I guess, but that hammer was in a super gross location. You would have like needed mitts, which were also like super locked in pod, or like leaving Turtle Rock Laser Bridge to mirror on the other side there. So I didn't think it was that terrible. I was more surprised at like the entire Smith chain having everything I needed. It was really weird, but
yeah, that was definitely the thing. We were kind of watching you head towards the Smith chain and just kind of commenting on you're going to be extremely excited once you finish that, and you pretty much have everything you need to complete the game outside of that Mire big key.
Yeah, and then you found that, and that was the one thing that Violet was still missing for Go Mode.
But yeah, the sea was really weird early. There was like no items. Lots of like connectoring. The hookshot placement was really, really gross.
And now joined in chat also here by VioletPumpkin there. GG's there to you.
GG, Andy.
GG.
Yeah, this scene was a bit of a train wreck for me.
It was just really gross to get around anywhere for like the first hour and change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like at one point there, Violet, you had kind of lost an entrance or something. There was what exactly was it that you were looking for at the time?
Yeah, so I was looking for swamp pallets. I had just gotten the hook shots, and I thought, should probably get ready to go back to Swamp Palace soon. And then I looked at my note sheet, and there was a big gaping hole there. So I just was really trying to remember the sequence of the seed. Like, I remember that I did the first chest in there with just bow, and I knew I got the first sword in the desert, so I just started to work backwards from there, skipping stuff I knew were other entrances.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the process, I got bombos, and I was so flustered from forgetting to mark that entrance that I messed up an ice palace, and really, I just don't think I ever fully recovered after that.
Yeah, that and we had by that point already seen on Andy's side the all of that progression that was in Swamp, Fire Rod and Mirror. But at the time, there were still some advantages you had because Andy routed Kakariko a little bit differently, so he only had the one pod key when he first went to pod, whereas you had the two. So you had that early glove, and then once you guys both found the glove in Eastern, it turned into the early mitts. And Andy was without the boots or that second Aga Tower key until very late, but putting it off as long as he did ended up paying off, because right after turning in the purple chest, he mirrored to check the Bombos tablet and found that big key to Misery Mire. That was the last thing you needed.
Yeah, I was actually pretty tempted to do that after ice, but yeah, I
don't remember when I thought about doing it, like right when I got the mirror, I think. Because I was gonna, right when I got mirror, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go get Tempered Sword, since my plan immediately was gonna be to do Turtle Rock, and I was like, I could just check Bombo's tablet while I'm there. I decided to put it off until later, but
that was pretty much my thinking as well, but I had already done purple chest by that point.
Yeah, Bombo's tablet's always one of those places that especially if you get the mirror late, it's just so difficult to route back in at a good time. Well, I guess with that, you guys, congratulations to Andy on making the grand finals there. You're going to have a little time off, I think, before everything gets set up on the loser's side there. Violet, you're going to continue on down there. You get a chance to get back to the grand finals there. So by no means everything is over. And thanks for the great race to both of you.
Congratulations, Andy, and thank you to the whole Restream crew for putting this together.
Yeah, thanks for taking your time to commentate.
Definitely a big GG's to Andy and VioletPumpkin, who are not done with this awesome tournament. We will get to see both runners, so be sure to tune back into ZSR for more of our continuing coverage of the Crossworld Keysanity tournament. Big thank you to Cyber Chaos and Days Cloud for being our wonderful commentators today, and big thank you to Liberal for being our tracker. I think I'm going to send us over to ZeldaSpeedRuns since they have some fun stuff going on over there. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you feel like you can volunteer or want to commentate or track, please feel free to reach out to any one of us that you see there in the CSR chat. We're more than happy to get you where you need to be. So I guess we'll end it here, and we will be back very, very soon. I think we have another race tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
And want to give thanks to you too, Jinxie. You were also one of our trackers and our restreamer, so we couldn't do it without you.
Oh, thank you so much. And everybody, have a good night.